The three big rules. You need to speak English. This is English immersion camp. That means that you are surrounded with English. You have the 4 native teachers here, and we will only be speaking English, and you should only be speaking English with each other as well. I will go into these more detail. Number 2, be nice. Be nice to each other. Have fun. Let me go into more detail. So speaking English, this is why we're here. You need to try your best. Making mistakes is how we progress with learning a second language. Maybe, I don't know who your teachers are, I don't know about your English education, maybe your teachers tell you, don't make any mistakes. Make sure your sentences are perfect. Make sure grammar is perfect. Make sure to use the best, biggest words you can. Spelling needs to be perfect. In my opinion, that's not as important as communicating, as speaking, as getting your ideas across. To speak another language, the goal is to be able to communicate, to share ideas. And you can share ideas without having perfect grammar and perfect spelling. You use what you have, make sentences, communicate, get your ideas out there. And that's what we'll be doing here. There's no quizzes, no tests, so you don't need to worry about that. So I speak French, and I studied French for like 7 years before I became fluent. And when you're fluent, you don't have to translate in your head anymore. It just comes naturally. You listen, you understand, you speak without thinking in your native language first. And for me, it was like a light bulb moment where all of a sudden, like the light turned on and I understood French and I could speak French. And it's the coolest thing. It's the coolest experience, I think, when all your effort and learning another language and all of a sudden you can speak effortlessly. And when you become fluent, it's so much easier to learn more words and improve your English further. And that's what the goal for all of you should be, is to become fluent in English. But why? Let's talk about our motivation for learning English. Let's just make sure we all know the reasons why you want to learn English. So, I think that there are two groups of reasons why you would want to learn English. There are fun reasons, and there are important reasons. So I'd like you to raise your hand. Please tell me what you think a reason why you want to learn English, why you want to become fluent in English. Please let me read this first. Fun and important reasons. Okay, somebody raise your hand. Tell me, why do you want to learn English? Anyone? Don't jump at once. Anything? No wrong answer. Yes?
I want to tell other people.
You want to tell, you want to speak to other people, to foreigners, okay? Yes, that's very good reason. You want to be able to communicate with foreigners. Anybody that's not Korean, there's very small chance that they speak Korean well. And so in Korea, if you see a foreigner, most likely they'll speak English. And there's a majority of the times they are native English speakers. And when you go abroad too and speak to foreigners, English is going to be the language that you can do that, you can communicate with. So I think that's a fun reason. It's also important, but it's a fun reason. Speak with foreigners. Because you can learn so much from speaking with foreigners, not just Koreans. How about another reason? Yes?
Test.
Test. Okay? This is the important reason. Okay? Test. Pass or do well on tests. So this is probably the reason that your parents tell you, your teachers at school tell you, that you get, drilled into you that you have to worry about these tests before high school, the test before university, And I was just talking with the other teachers about this, how difficult those tests are. And the questions, even for us, it's very, very difficult. These sentences are very long, they're a little confusing, and it's not, I would never speak these sentences that are in these tests. So it's important, it's definitely very important to get, and this is what you'll be working on a lot in high school, reading comprehension, grammar, but I think that communicating, speaking, listening, much more important in the real world. But tests are a very important part and why you should learn English so you can do well on them, so you can get into a good university and have a better future. So what's another reason? Yes?
Travel abroad.
To travel abroad. Okay, travel abroad. So that's fun, also important, but travel abroad. I hope that all of you get the occasion, the chance to live in another country, at least for a month, or 6 months, or a year. It is the best experience, and you learn so much about yourself and about the world. Traveling abroad for vacation and fun is also a great thing to do. I've traveled a lot. It's one of my biggest passions is to travel, to see different cultures and different people. And English is the global language, and it's becoming more and more so every day. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I think English will be even more important than it is today. And more, it's a language that unites people. People, from Thailand, Russia, Brazil. How do all these people communicate? Maybe somebody's really interested in Russian language or Portuguese, and you study that, and that's great. But most of the time, English is the language that connects us, and connects people from around the world. And when you're traveling, all help, all the tourist information, signs, will most likely be in English. Very helpful to you. And you can help your family. If they don't speak English, help your family. Oh, Mom, you need to go that way. That's what the signs say. Okay, another reason. Yes?
I want to watch English movies without Korean.
Ah, okay, watch English movies. Good. This is definitely a fun reason. English movies, entertainment. We all know Hollywood is huge. Hollywood makes hundreds of movies every year. There are hundreds of TV shows, really good TV shows, American, English, Australian TV shows that are worth searching and finding. And if you can understand it without the Korean subtitles, you'll understand the meaning much better. And this is actually a really good way to learn and improve your English in your free time at home, is to find a good TV show, English TV show, find good English movies, good YouTube channels in English. Put on English subtitles and listen and read at the same time. And stop when you don't know a word or a phrase, look up the word. You can improve your vocabulary, your listening skills with that. And it's fun, it's entertaining. There's lots of good entertainment out there. And this also goes for books, magazines, a lot of webtoons. English is, it's the language of the internet too. All right, another reason. Yes?
The job I want to be is kind of international. So.
Okay, yeah, jobs, for future jobs. This is definitely an important reason. As English is the language, the global language, it's the language of international business. If you do work outside of Korea, you'll need English. It will help a lot. And just any job in general, even if you plan to just stay in Korea, if you are going up for a job against somebody else and your English is better than that other person, you have much more, you are much more valuable. You have a better chance to do well if you can speak English well, if you can communicate to foreigners. It's definitely a thing that opens doors for whatever you want to do. Even if you want to be, a soccer player, if you're a soccer player that can speak English, you can communicate to a huge fan base. Or if you want to be a YouTube star, you can communicate to the whole world if you speak English. And any other reasons? I think we've touched on the main ones. So the important reasons: passing tests, future jobs. It's good for your future. It'll open doors. It'll give you much more potential in pursuing the future that you want, the career that you want, if you can understand and speak English effortlessly. And it's fun. You learn so much more about the world and other cultures because you can speak with foreigners and you can read what they read, watch what they watch. There's so much good English entertainment out there. So that's the goal. You all can see the reasons why you want to learn English. You want to be fluent in English. So to get there, it really is just taking little steps every day. For some of you, it might seem so difficult and so hard, and it is difficult, very difficult to learn another language. It's not an easy thing, but if you work hard and you gain more knowledge every time you study, every time you speak English, every time you watch an English show, you will slowly get there. And so that's what you need to keep in mind. It's just slow steps, and you're going to make mistakes, and it's not something that happens overnight. You have to work hard at it, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to get you in the habit of thinking and speaking and listening in English. One thing that I want to say is that you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. Everyone here is at different levels in English and anything. Everyone has their own strengths and their own weaknesses. Everyone's at different levels. And you shouldn't compare yourself to other people. You should compare yourself to who you were yesterday, where your level was yesterday. Today, is your English level better than yesterday? Then you're making, if yes, then you're making steps to the right direction. You're making steps towards your goal. So think about the little steps you're making. Compare yourself to where you were yesterday, not to other people. All right. And the teachers and I were here to help you. Okay, we're on your side. We want you to do your best, and we're here. So please ask us questions. We're very friendly. Okay, and so I've told you all the good reasons why you want to learn English, but we're going to give you a little motivation to speak English here, because when we hear Korean, all we hear is that you want to do squats. We hear, squat teacher, please make me do squats. And during English immersion camp, if you speak Korean, you will do squats. It will happen. Okay? And we're serious about it. So from now on, I was easy during the icebreaker. Okay, I heard Korean, I let it go. But you have to speak English. This is how you're going to improve. Okay? The places where you're free to speak Korean is in the cafeteria and in your rooms or in the toilet. Okay? Otherwise, if you're in any area here, only English. If the teachers hear you speak Korean, it's going to be squats. 10 squats. And it might get more and more if you keep speaking Korean. Okay? It's just a helpful way to push you to only speak English.